Yes, scholars, this is Table Talks Education. Once again, let us move on with biology. Of course, this is advanced biology. Now today, of course, we're still proceeding with genetics. And here, today, we are going to look at codominance. Codominance. Of course, you will remember that this is an exception to Mendelian inheritance. Exception to Mendelian inheritance. Exception to Mendelian inheritance. And of course, you come to know that this is a form of an allelic interaction or gene interaction. Now, we said when it comes to inheritance of some characters, some genes or genes which control them, like height in peas, one allele is dominant and the other one is recessive. By now here is codominance. So there is inheritance whereby alleles express themselves equally in the phenotype. Now that is what we call codominance. Or there is a condition or a situation. A condition or a situation whereby more than two, whereby two or more alleles of a gene, do not show complete dominance, due to the failure of any one of those alleles showing dominance, such that they all express themselves equally in the phenotype. And so, the result of this is that we shall have an intermediate phenotype in the F1 generation, or an intermediate whereby it is a uniform blend or mixture of the phenotypes of the parents, a uniform mixture of the phenotypes of the parents. So now, this is what we call codominance. So we say this is a condition whereby two or more alleles of course do not show complete dominance, due to the failure of any allele, to be dominant, due to the failure of any allele to be dominant. That's what we call codominance, a condition whereby two or more alleles do not show complete dominance due to the failure of any allele to be dominant. So that is what we call codominance. Or we can say, or it is a condition. It is a condition. It is a condition where alleles express themselves equally in the phenotype. Express themselves equally in the phenotype. So, dear scholars, of course, codominance can be defined as shown here in the second case, that it is a condition or state where alleles express themselves equally in the phenotype. So that is what we call codominance. Now, what we know that in codominance, there is formation. There is formation of an intermediate. That is very important, that in codominance there is formation of an intermediate. That is a very important point when we talk about codominance. There is formation of an intermediate. Formation of an intermediate phenotype. Or what we call F1 heterozygote, or we say the heterozygote. Heterozygote has an intermediate phenotype. Which is a uniform blend. Which is a uniform blend. A blend is a mixture. What we call a blend, I mean a blend is a mixture, which is a uniform blend or mixture. A uniform blend or mixture of the uniform blend or mixture of the characteristics of the parents, which is a uniform blend or mixture of the phenotypes of the parents, phenotypes of them parents. So what does it mean? In codominance, there is blending of genes, mixing of genes. So now, that is where we are. The intermediate is a uniform blend or mixture of the phenotypes of them parents. Now, in codominance, of course, we know that the F2 monohybrid ratio of 3:1 is modified to 1:2:1 when it comes to codominance. So I can say, or we can write that in codominance, Codominance. In codominance, there is modification. There is modification of the. There is modification of the F2 monohybrid ratio. There is modification of the F2 monohybrid ratio of 3 to 1 to 2 to a phenotypic ratio, phenotypic ratio of 1 to 2 to 1 in the F2 generation. In the F2 generation. So these points are important, members, that in codominance there is modification of the F2 monohybrid ratio, which is 3 to 1 to a phenotypic ratio of 1 to 2 to 1 in the F2 generation. So that is what happens in codominance. And of course, these points are important. The points are important. Of course, we have saying that codominance is a condition where alleles express themselves equally in the phenotype. And of course, we have said in codominance, there is formation of an intermediate phenotype, which is a uniform mixture or uniform blend, okay? Which is a uniform mixture or uniform blend of the phenotypes of the parents. So now, that is where we are. Members, in the next episode or in the next video, of course, we are going to look at the examples of codominance. So, of course, you need to subscribe and then see the next video, which is all about examples of codominance. Thank you so much.